Morning, everyone. JJ coming back to you from the dungeon down here, enjoying some coffee and listening to a bit of music in the morning and practicing a little bit. But thought I'd make a quick video here talking about a kind of rare treat. And you can see my vinyl collection. I've talked about it with some of my other videos, but most of that collection is it's used. And what I mean is I have like original pressings. My collection consists of a lot of 70s, 80s music, and I wanted the original pressings just for posterity. And I'm interested in the recording side of what albums used to sound like and things. So 98-ish% of my collection is all used and original pressings from whatever year the albums were released. So in that collection, I couldn't even tell you if there's ever been an unopened or a new album. I've had a couple. I had a copy of The Ultimate Sin, an original pressing that was unopened that I did open, and I forget, Metal Church or some band, I found an unopened copy of one of their albums years ago, and I managed to open that. So I have had the experience of opening albums and playing them for the first time, but it's a very rare treat. And most of those albums are, like I said, 70s, 80s. And so anything from the 90s, the mid-90s and on, I've never really kind of looked at even getting those albums on vinyl because, the format kind of didn't exist at the time those albums were released. And so they don't have any sentimental reasons or anything like that for me. But a friend of mine, a colleague, a bandmate, Brain Salad Bar. He knows who he is. I'm going to use his fake name. But shout out to you, my friend. He very kindly sent me 2 albums in the mail. I'm going to talk about one of them in this video and then make another video for the other one. The band is Orgy. And the album I'm going to talk about first is their first release, Candyass. And this is for anyone that was waiting to see me open the shrink wrap, and too late. I already listened to this thing. I couldn't help myself. You got it in the mail and immediately opened both of these and listened to them. And these first 2 Orgy albums are they just are so meaningful to me. I discovered them at a time when I was really into music and really learning a lot about things. And I thought this band was so innovative and so ahead of its time. They had such a unique sound, and the look of the band was really kind of futuristic and cool, and it was just a very, very compelling package, and similar in a way to the Motley Crue experience I had when I first saw the artwork to Shout at the Devil. The first single I had seen, the music video, was for they covered the song Blue Monday from New Order. And that was kind of their breakout for me anyways, the first thing I heard. And the look of that video and the look of the band and stuff is just very it's kind of in a way like timeless to me. I mean, that might be a out there opinion, you could think what you like, but to me it's kind of like, I look at it, it's almost like David Bowie-esque in a way, where it doesn't it does have its time and with David Bowie in the 70s, but in another way, it's kind of timeless, and Orgy doesn't have the same impact that David Bowie does, but I think the look of the band kind of has that same thing going for it, like the Space Oddity, that kind of phase. There's just something really cool about it. Another shout out I should give regarding this album is to an old high school chum of mine, John Davis, not Jonathan Davis from Korn. I didn't go to high school with him, so I don't even live in California. So anyways, another John Davis, one of my high school friends. We had a good group of friends, and there was a lot of music fans, and we were young, and CDs were expensive, so somebody would get a CD, and very kindly you'd pass it along to your friend and let them listen to it. And when I saw the video for Blue Monday, I knew I wanted to check this CD out further. And so John kindly lent it to me along with a handful of other ones too. But he lent me that CD, and I immediately likely made a copy of it, a tape or something, and just proceeded to listen to it for a good, healthy amount of time. And there was just so much going on it. It was like I was learning a lot about drum programming, and the drummer for this band was using like a kind of a hybridized setup, Roland V drums and acoustic cymbals. And it was cool. I hadn't really seen anything like that. I'd obviously seen some of the Depeche Mode or somebody using electronic drums and all pads, but it was kind of like an 80s thing brought into the 90s in a way. So it was like revisiting the past, but also moving towards the future. It was just so cool and so compelling to me as a 17-year-old when I was getting into this stuff. So, but yeah, this is a it was an unopened brand new copy that I was kindly sent, and the orange swirl vinyl. I don't really get too much into this, like the different colors of vinyls and collecting or any of those kinds of things. It's the music is the most important component to me, clearly, but it is cool to have some of your favorite albums on the format I enjoy listening to the most. So some of the songs that are on here, like I said, the single was Blue Monday. That was the cover. Stitches is an amazing song. Right around the time this album came out, Orgy was actually signed to a subsidiary that the guys from Korn was given their own kind of like offshoot record label. What was it? I think it was called Elementary or something like that at the time. Or anyways, this pressing is on a different label, but at the time it was Korn's kind of subsidiary label. And so via that, Orgy was on tour. They were on the Family Values tour around 1998 or 97. I don't remember the year. But they packaged that. They did it as a concert video, and they released an album, a live album. Ice Cube was on it, Rammstein was on it, Orgy, Limp Bizkit, and then Korn, I think, was the lineup. Might be one other band I'm forgetting, but so hearing the album and then seeing the band playing live, they did the Family Values tour, and then there was a few appearances on some late night TV. Conan O'Brien was my kind of go-to back then. Conan seemed to get the really kind of niche, not independent bands, but like the innovators, like the new metal. Like one of the very early appearances I ever saw of Deftones was on Conan O'Brien, and Slipknot was on Conan O'Brien. So he had somebody in there in the musical director or whoever had their ear to the ground for these bands, and so I got to see some video of these guys playing live, and awesome, just live band and live package. And Jay Gordon, the singer, was really awesome front man. He just had these like crazy moves. Like it was very compelling to watch. But songs like Stitches, Dissension was the song I think that was on the Family Values live album, so I got into that song a lot. Blue Monday, the single. Revival was another great song that's on here. They're all great songs, and in all honesty, this one is a great first album. I'm going to talk about the second album in another video, but that album is that's, to me, they're a high watermark for what they've done. So this was like an awesome introduction to the band for me. Getting into, I was starting to get into drum programming and learning about that, and seeing a band that was kind of taking that same approach, and having these like industrial roots along with like kind of the glam metal, and it was such a unique package at the time. And so yeah, I'm very, very glad to have this album in the collection. I've already listened to it probably 4 times, just looping through. And this pressing sounds great. I haven't actually had a physical copy of this album for about 15 years probably. Once I sold my CD collection off, that was kind of the end of the physical stuff for me. So, but yeah, it is cool to have some of your favorite albums as a hands-on experience, and coming back to these albums after you not having a physical copy for so long just kind of reminds me of all the time I sat kind of looking at this and reading the lyrics and just listening to it over and over again. So a great experience for me. And yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the band, very hard to compare them to anybody because they're definitely, like I said, their own kind of unique thing. But end of the 90s, new metal, like they had elements of a lot of 80s things, hence the New Order cover of Blue Mondays. So, I mean, if you're into like, any of that kind of dancey type vibe music, this would be probably a slightly harder edge album, but with still a little bit of gloss on it. It doesn't get into the Ministry or KMFDM, like that type of industrial, but it definitely has aspects of all that kind of stuff in there for sure. Josh Abraham's producing this album, did a ton of like new metal stuff. But yeah, very cool album, Candyass from Orgy. Check it out if you haven't, and on to the next one. Cheers.